Going
Oh my
Hey,
gosh,
everybody.
guys. What's up? Good evening. Welcome to Andromeda 7 Portal Gateway, your community portal to everyone in the tribe, everyone in the soul family. And tonight, I don't even know how I'm going to introduce this guy because I don't think he needs any introduction. Rocci Stucci for Rocci Stucci Media, the emotional meatball.
Yo, how you doing? How you doing? Come on, bring it in, group hug. Everybody jump in. What?
2, 3.
Yeah.
Meatball.
Girl, Teresa, that's what I got chills. I'm not even lying. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, guys. Okay, so I guess Ron Phillips had to have a wedding tonight. So yes, so we're missing a guest, but that's okay because Rocci.
Happy wedding.
Knows what's up. Yeah. So
Ron.
yeah. I mean, you don't want to miss a wedding, so I would not recommend that. Okay.
No.
So tonight is about abnormal realities and earthly organization and everything paranormal. And I cannot wait to get diving deep into Rocci's experiences that he share with us because abnormal reality sounds like my life story. So.
Yeah.
But first, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Grandpa Brian 420, Kelly,
Hi,
David
Grandpa.
Castle,
Kelly.
Everybody's still coming in. Audrey,
David.
there you are, girl. There you are.
Keep your
Randy
eyes on
Robinson.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary Wins. What's up, girl? It's so good to see you. Michelle Dunbar. Hi, Michelle. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody.
Brandy. Hi, Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys.
Audrey made it. Oh, Audrey made
it. Yeah.
Awesome, Audrey.
She's driving.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Keep your eyes on the road.
We'll have more. We'll say hello to everybody as they start.
Hey, Brenda.
Lucky.
Yep.
I see Lucky and Brenda.
Yeah.
All right. See,
Lucky
this is how it happens. Yeah, they keep pouring in. All right,
hey, Mary. Okay, yeah, they will because the notifications go out a little late.
Yeah, a little late. That's okay. Hey, we're here.
And Grandpa Brian, thank you. No negativity at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I got
like
mine
a charm.
Yep. I got it.
Got mine.
Yep.
Got mine too. We're all wearing brides. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Mine are made by Tibetan monks. My sister gave to me.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, there you go. So Brenda couldn't be here, but she gave you a poem to read, right, Crystal?
She did. It's
awesome.
Actually
a blessing.
It's an old Irish blessing, and it goes like this. May love and laughter light your days and warm your heart and home. May good and faithful friends be yours wherever you may roam. May peace and plenty bless your world with joy that long endures. May all life's passing seasons bring you the best to you and yours. It's short and sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Short and sweet. But
yeah,
we want good friends.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Brenda. We want good friends, type connections, even if it's not a lot. Quality over quantity any day for that. And we're all here to help each other expand and just help each other expand in a positive way. Mm-hmm. So that was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
All right, Rocci. Oh my God. When Teresa said this is what we're having the subject, I was like, oh, let's get it going, brother. Let's get it going.
So what's really cool though is my oldest son Rocky Jr. His girlfriend literally just moved down here. She got here yesterday, and her mom and her mom's husband is down here. And right before the show came on, we were all sitting in back there. Now he's leans very far on the skeptical side when it comes to the paranormal. He's a little bit more in the UFOs, but the ghostly stuff. And the last 2 hours, I have been, talking and sharing some stories with him, some of the significant stories that I've had, and one of the reasons why I sleep with the light on at night, to this day. And then I come on and talk with you ladies. So I think the universe is working on our side and get me all prepped up to talk about some of this stuff. So I love the hell out of all you guys. I think you guys do a fabulous job. And I'm grateful that you guys, give me some time on your program here. And kindred souls, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah,
it's an honor for us. Thank you
so much. Yep.
Complete honor. Absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah, let's get it going because
can I say something?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm looking at Teresa and I can't help but be turned on by the figure on her right shoulder or her left shoulder to my right. I don't know who that is, but
we're wondering when the bobbleheads are coming.
Bitch right there. That's all I'm saying.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy.
Yeah.
That's the devil on her shoulder there.
Oh, he's my guardian angel. What are you talking about?
Spirit box. Tell me
He's my
something.
guardian angel.
Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I've had a lot. My life has definitely been steeped in a lot of paranormal activity. Even like the past couple of years have been. It almost seems like there's a kind of a strange intensification of some of this stuff going on around me. But I think maybe I have some kind of influence on that. Because I'm pretty. I'm open-minded. I'm open to it. I have been my whole life, and I've had some very wild experiences. Like I've even had the experience with the shadow man. When I was younger. Yeah, I've had experiences with that. Yeah, so it's been one heck of a ride. But I've never worked with the Ouija boards. I've never worked with spirit box or anything like that. This has all just been. I lived in like 3 haunted houses as a kid. So I mean they were haunted as AF. And so I've had some very
that's freaking haunted.
Well, Rocky,
it was
this channel that you're starting, this program. So tell us about it.
Well, can I just really quick? Can I jump on something really quick? You're just saying there, Crystal.
Yes.
What you said was super profound, and I know just about probably everybody that listens to this program will understand this, and I know all of you as well understand it. Belief in life, what we choose to believe is a very powerful thing.
Yes.
And, when I went through my transition, because, I used to roll with motorcycle clubs. I used to be I was a huge drug dealer. I had no spiritual connection. I had no relationship with any God. I was a man trying to survive in a very dark world. And so when I went through this, and Teresa, you heard me on different shows talk about some of this stuff. I don't hide it. I don't run from it. And I think it's important that we all talk about the skeletons in our closet, because the emptier our closet is, the more free we live in our world, right?
Yes,
got that.
absolutely.
So when I went through this transition, it was really weird, because the first guy I ever met through one of these transitions was he was a black gentleman. He was a priest from Nigeria. I could not understand him, and I had traumatic PTSD, and I was dealing with nightmares and demons and so many other things.
Wow.
And I started working with this guy. Like I said, I never understood him. He never vice versa. But it was the fact that 2 complete strangers with matching souls could sit down and have a conversation and not understand one human bit of language that was coming out of our mouth. And so as I went down this path and I started working with shamans, I became a theta healer. I started doing all the remote viewing stuff. I started doing psychic work. And it was weird, because the more open I became to the realities of multiple universes or different existences, whether it be aliens, spiritual beings, the more experiences that I had. But on top of the more experiences that I had, the more spiritual experiences that I had, from a soul level, right? You look at things differently. You guys see I post pictures all the time of flowers. I find an amazing, I know they're very pretty. I think it's cool. They're very pretty, but I find this amazing piece. And I'll go take a picture of a flower that's no more than a 1/4 inch big, and I'll come close up to it, and you don't really realize the beauty that's within that flower because of the size difference. And so, as we grow and we open our mind to this world, and we have relationships with so many amazing people that are open the same way we are, we no longer have to search for those experiences, because we live those experiences every single day. And I think it makes us one hell of a person. And I think, at the end of the day, when we can identify ourselves spiritually, I think we're way ahead of the game in society. So
yes,
I agree. And
definitely.
I think we're coming on to this precipice is where people, I can't say that word right, but I think people are really starting to choose to connect to their own inner divinity and their own spiritual path, and claim themselves as the queen or king of their body, mind, spirit, and their experiences. Because once you take ownership of your experiences, there's no more excuses left. But it also opens up more ways for the universe and multiple realities to communicate with you and kind of create a beautiful cosmic symphony. And this story, it helps you write the story. You're an author, you've got the pen and paper, but all these other multifaceted layers come into play with spirit especially. And flowers are so to me also resonate very spiritually. They almost, some of the flowers kind of look like they're from outer space, like from another planet or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's weird because my roots in radio, when I started doing radio, I can't remember how long ago it was now, but I started doing this little tiny show called EBN Radio, Everything But Normal Radio. I did it on Blog Talk Radio. I had 2 listeners. My first show was my mom and dad. You know, it's one of those things where I shut off the chat room because I didn't want to see the fact that there's nobody in the chat. I wanted to have this vision that there was millions of people listening to me because I didn't want to lose hope, and that was the only way I could keep focused on that. And then as time goes on, you know, I did this little transition, and I love everybody. Scotty Roberts, I love doing radio with him. You know, I get into politics, right? I don't hide my political views. I feel very well researched in them. I don't hide them. I'm not silent about them. But when we talk about society right now, and we talk about spiritual awakenings, and we talk about trying to find our better self, I'm not doing anybody any good at any time talking about matters that are going on in society right now that are designed and manufactured to create hate, to create division, to create victimhood, to create all these different things, and never allow us to explore the possibilities of finding who we are in life. Politics keeps us trapped in there. Now, 2 reasons I'm going on to this show. I want to go back to doing live radio. I love doing live radio, just like you guys do. You love interacting with the chat rooms. I love doing call-in shows. And Don and Donna right now, just because of their schedule, Don runs a company that does all the rock and roll buses. So he works California time. So there's no way he can be ready at 7:00. So, and so I struggle with that. But the reason I really wanted to make this move, and it's been bothering me for about 2 months, is that how at the end of when you do your show, when I do my show, when any radio personality does their show, whether you're a national syndicated show, whether you're a blogger, whatever you may be, how does your audience feel when they're done listening to you? What kind of spiritual impact have you given the people? Are they going to be completely pissed off because you're talking about the worst of the worst, political stuff, geopolitical stuff, wars? Or are you going to make people escape from that reality, even if it's for an hour or 2 hours, and help them get some chuckles, help them get some laughs, have a spiritual kindred connection with them, do call-in shows and have fun? That's what I want. That's what I want people to feel, whether we talk about aliens, UFOs, paranormal, because we're going to do it with a twist, because everybody knows my humor, and I'm a very grotesque person sometimes. And I'm speaking very lightly when I say that. But I want people at the end of every show that we do feel pretty damn good about themselves as well. I want to turn a bad mood into a good mood. I want to, you know, people have a bad day at work. I want them to come to, you know, abnormal realities and just forget about the crap for at least an hour. And that's why we're going back and doing abnormal realities and going back to roots, baby. That's what we do. So
that's how I came in. I came in when you were doing all that, and I miss it. And I love your show with Dawn and Donna. Love your show. But I miss that interaction.
Well, you know, and Don and Donna, my God, they are family to me. And it's
really
out in this industry because, you know, in radio, things change. You know, I was doing radio for a long time with Scotty Roberts. Things change. It's just the way it is. You know, some people lose their face and they think it's personal. And no, this is the evolvement of radio. It is what it is. And I'm blessed to have very mature adult friends that understand that there's certain movements that happen. And and knowing my roots, and to have Don and Donna be like, dude, we support you 1,000%. I mean, that's like, those are people. You know what I'm saying?
Those are your people.
Good.
We go on social media. We see grown adults sitting there absolutely miserable about their lives and complaining why they can't understand why their children don't behave when that same adult acts less mature than their 7-year-old child. So I'm very blessed to have the circle and the friends and the units that we have, and you know, my family that supports me doing everything that we do. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, if we passed on and lived the life in death as we did in life, how would your existence in the afterlife be, right? And I don't want to
boring.
Well, you know, it would be boring, but you know, if you're miserable, I don't know how many of you are active paranormal investigators.
I just have paranormal happens around me naturally, so I don't investigate.
I'm pretty much just an experiencer. I mean, I've had every single type of paranormal phenomena happen to me, with the exception of possibly alien abduction. That's pretty much the only thing.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, the first time I ever got on the internet, that was 1997. The first thing I searched for was UFOs.
Yeah.
Because when I was 9 years old in 1977, I had a UFO sighting in broad daylight, and it stuck with me all these years.
Yeah,
like that.
This COVID,
thanks to technology, thanks to technology and the internet, I was able to actually corroborate my sighting with other sightings of the same exact object at around the same time in the same area. So that's, for me, that was confirmation that this was a real event, that I was not making it up, and neither were any of these other witnesses, by virtue of the corroboration. So
now let me ask you, so when you were able to validate that, did you notice after the validity of something being absolutely real that the experiences increased?
In a sense, yes. Because, just like Crystal said, she lived in 3 different haunted houses. I lived in one haunted apartment, and that was enough for me. And this was an apartment where it was an old doctor lady who had many cats, and she died in the apartment, and the cats ate her dead body.
What?
They'll do that.
Yeah. Yes.
They'll do that.
Oh, that's man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Since she was a doctor,
they ate them.
since she was a doctor, she kept some of her cat's brains preserved in alcohol jars and mason jars.
Bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bizarre, and
that's pretty freaky.
You know what's weird is that I'm hearing this and I'm completely grossed out, but I'm sitting there thinking, God, that is fabulous show material.
I know. Yeah, you literally can't make it. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I thought the apartment had a weird vibe to it, because normally when you buy like an older apartment with older furnishings and stuff, you see the tracks on the carpet and stuff. Well, in the main room, the living room, the carpet was worn in such a way that it was worn towards the center, right underneath the chandelier, which means, I've pieced this together afterwards, that she must have been doing some kind of a dervish dance underneath that chandelier, which would have caused the wear pattern to be most intense in the center as opposed to the edges. So that was kind of weird, and that was my first indication that there was something really weird going on there.
Yeah.
It always starts with that small little feeling in your guts, like something's not quite right.
The hair raises on your neck.
I call it my spidey senses. If my skin's tingling and I'm doing an investigation and I walk into a room and I get that tingling sensation, I know there's something there. Now, it might not be a bad thing. It's just that I get that tingling. And the only time there's only a couple of times where I felt that oppression, like it's like a pressure against your whole body and your skin. And it feels like you can't breathe, and then you're like, "Oh, they don't want me here." Back.
So, Rocky,
back.
Yeah,
Rocky, I have a question for you, Rocky.
Oh, come on with it.
So this is a question. All right, so I had an experience where my mother-in-law is very dark, very negative. I actually saw her once actually shut down. Her eyes were completely white, and it was like I was seeing some other aspect of her psychology coming through that was very, I want to say, straight up demonic, or some kind of attachment. And then one time she argued with me a little bit, saying I will never marry her son, yet we're together 16 years. She threw a dark black mass next to my bed from her mind and manifested this thing growling at me next to my head. And I did my thing. I was like, yay, F off, whatever. And I said, I didn't appreciate this. Not very nice to do that to somebody. So this is my question. Is this an outside force? Do you think that there's an army of demons, or do you think that a lot of these phenomenon are just a part of our darkest part of our psychology?
That is such a brilliant question. It really is, because I believe it's both. When you were telling me that story, this is really weird. The first thing that came to my mind, and I don't practice anything psychic, I haven't done it for years, but when you were telling me, the first thing I thought of was somebody made a deal with the devil. That was the first thing I thought of when you were explaining that to me, and that devil was getting his payback. So that devil's feeding off anything that wanted to you're saying your aunt?
My mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law. Sorry.
Wow.
Don't judge me. No, it was weird. I just saw that. I'm not even saying it's anything. I just saw that. It was weird. But okay, so we have a lot of personal demons. There's two different types of poltergeist, right? There's the spiritual poltergeist or the noisy ghost poltergeist, where there is a entity that we can't see that is manipulating physical objects. But then there's a second poltergeist that has been scientifically proven to where we could, through our own emotional state, move objects within our area. So there are a lot of people that go up in life that continue to live a very dark path. Again, making deals with the devil in one form or the other, right? And so I believe that those interpersonal demons, even at the most deepest psychological level, could manifest very bad things in your life to happen, like actual manifestation subconsciously without you even realizing you're doing it, because that energy is so deep. It's kind of similar to a psychic hook. When there is a person that has such disdain for another person at such a dark level that it's actually like a subliminal curse towards that other person just because of the manifestation of hatred towards that person. And then, of course, we have the physical demons or the spiritual demons, the waywards, the travelers, all these little creepy things like what you see at treatment centers that are just kind of feeding off low energy human beings. I believe that there's people that are more magnetizing, I guess is the word, towards these entities, depending on their psychological state. And I believe the more psychologically broken somebody is, the more chances that they could have these outer spiritual dark entities, demons, whatever, however people want to term them, be attracted to them because it's easy bait.
Well,
now,
those
people like
energies feed off of them.
Absolutely. I believe that. When I go in, and now I have drinks, right? But I still get invited, or when I was still up north, got invited to speak at treatment centers. Not so much because of my opioid addiction, but more towards the message in regards to life. And when I go to these treatment centers, I become nauseous as hell. And it's not from the people, it's from the energy and the, like the spiritual energy that these, and it's not human, right? It's these like creatures that are like mosquitoes that just want to suck every bit of weakness you have in your soul. That's kind of what I feel. So what a brilliant question, but I believe both. Absolutely.
Well, none of her hoodoo worked on me, and I just upset her demons because she was like, butterflies are awful, because butterflies are kind of my favorite little things, I like pretty butterflies and things. She's like, butterflies are weak. I'm like, and I was thinking, well, you're the weak one letting things feed off your,
so does she have a history of well, not maybe even so much her, but maybe somebody within her circle doing like dark magic type?
No, she dabbled. She absolutely. Okay. I picked up energetically that she dabbled in things that she shouldn't have.
Sure.
And but she's come from a very unhealed. She's never healed any of her traumas. She relives these traumas every day, and then she's just very, very negative. But none of the stuff that she tried with me worked, and to this day she doesn't have a word to say to me, and I love it that way because we just don't mix. And even
You're
Joey,
not the same frequency.
No, and this is his mother.
On different frequencies.
This is his mother.
I'd like
Mandy.
to ask Mandy. Ask Mandy.
How you doing, Mandy? Come on, what you got?
What's up, Mandy?
Let's just get ready to ask Mandy. I know Mandy's got a couple of experiences that are pretty interesting, and I've actually seen activity around Mandy.
We have.
Get your voice.
I think frequency. Yeah, I think frequency has a lot to do with it. And you spoke about going into like treatment centers and stuff before and saying like you get this mass energy. And you also said at the start of the show that you had kind of a path like that of your own in the beginning and also perpetuated that path for others. Do you think that maybe that was something that was kind of blocking you from emitting that frequency within you as a sense of, so it wasn't that you weren't a spiritual person, it was maybe that you were spiritual, but we are so blocked off from thinking that and believing within ourselves that then the opposite of everything has an opposite, and the opposite of connection is addiction. So when we find connection, we find that addictions fall off and things like that. So do you think maybe like that was something to block your frequency? And because I find that when we start to like have our really good ideas and things come across and we start to believe in ourselves, we emanate this frequency, and that's when everything will go wrong. People will get our coffee orders wrong. Like it's just, you know, they get us to pay for the wrong pump or the gas and things like that. Like, so just little silly things like that. It's just, maybe it's because our frequency doesn't vibe with others on that lower frequency as such. So
well
I think frequency of a person does have a lot to do with it.
I think you're 100% right. And whether it be my situation or, you know, I mean, we just look out in society today. We look at the brokenness of people, you know, with the homelessness population, with the amount of addiction that we're dealing with. If we want to kind of compare it to what you were saying, Mandy, I mean, I think we have an entire planet right now, probably at levels not seen before, because, you go back historically, the only information that we ever knew of our existence was what we read in a local newspaper back in the days of like the 1500s, 1400s, just local things. We have global information now at the palm of our hands. And the only thing that sells is hatred, anger. We have a drug epidemic in this planet unseen before, with pharmaceuticals, with these new types of drugs, with the fentanyl, with the heroines. I think we see an almost, I don't even know a number, but a planet that has completely lost spiritual connection. Now, one of the questions that I had, and I'm going to throw this over to all of you, and you answer me. Now, when I refer to a broken planet, and now if I were to compare my spiritual and human frequency back in the darkest times of my life compared to my frequency right now, you're gonna see something go off the charts comparatively speaking. Now, we understand that our thoughts create things. When we are miserable people, we're angry people, bad things, we manifest it, we expect it. Our thoughts create bad things from happening, or they create bad things to happen. So when we have a world that is at that same lower gross frequency, well, that frequency and negative thought continue to manifest more of the spiritual side of the darker entities that would kind of destroy any type of human behavior.
Well, see, what I would point out is just 100 years ago, every single one of these drugs that are a problem these days was perfectly legal.
Yep.
Everybody had access to it, and not only was it legal, but it was also quite cheap. But at the same time, you did not have a problem of people abusing things like opium or morphine or Veronal or whatever was the fad in those days. Why? Because people's lives were not that complex. As Steven Pinker points out, our lives are getting better, but they're also getting a lot more complex, and that's what people are trying to avoid by getting off the merry-go-round, if only for a couple of hours, into some kind of a fantasy world that's easier for them to cope with than the real world, which is unbearably complex. I mean, in the past, if you wanted to buy something, you just paid cash for it. Nowadays, you have to go through PayPal, Klarna, Sephora, or whatever. It's a whole rigmarole.
Julianne, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dalbar. I didn't mean to.
Go
I would like to hear from Julianne, because I could feel your wheels turning.
Yeah.
It's whatever you think.
Yeah.
It's whatever you think.
And I don't go into any of that, all of what that was said, really, because I believe in nature, because that's what I've created. I know from all my writing, I know from all my connection with my higher self, that's all there is me. Whatever you think, you're correct, because that's what you think.
That's it.
Okay?
I love it. Supremely
your story.
Yes.
There was a time when I was doing paranormal investigations that I often thought, when I first started doing it, I was nervous. So I would have these thoughts that I'm going to get touched, or I'm going to get poked, or something's going to get me, kind of thing. And that's what I manifested.
Because it picked up on your fears.
And other people
fed off of it.
Other people with me were feeding off of that.
Yeah.
And so together, we made that happen. Because every other investigation I learned, I say my protection, And I learned through, the ghost hunting team, the ghost hunters team, how to prepare yourself and what to say to these entities when you encounter them. And that fear went away. As soon as the fear went away, I didn't get as much activity. And the kind of activity that I got was typically little children spirits or spirits that were just troubled and were just there hanging out, and they weren't evil. But I've seen some of these paranormal researchers on TV that go in there, I'm going to go kill demons tonight. And that's what they get. That's what comes back at them. So I think that these spirit beings operate at a different frequency. They bring themselves down to a level where they can either manifest with us or not. And I think we operate at a certain frequency. And when we put fear out there or hatred, or if we've had don't ever do a paranormal investigation if you've had a really bad day. Or if you're really pissed at somebody, do not take that energy into a haunted location and try to do an investigation, because whatever you put out there, so it's partially our thoughts, but it's our emotions as well. And that's what I wanted to say to the emotional meatball here. With your experiences, how do you control your emotions? What do you do when you do an investigation to keep that in check?
Great question.
Well, I think exactly what you just said. Because I think anybody that actively goes out and investigates or tries to find something, I think there is a level of evolvement through that process. Some people make it through. Some people just stop doing it because they're such an idiot that they manifest such a horrifying experience that they run from it. I've been pretty blessed that I've worked with some really good people. But I think the people that made the most significant impact when it came to frequencies and energies, especially in situations like that, was a Sioux shaman that I had the honor to work with for a very long time. I was actually awarded an eagle feather. And I didn't even know the significance of it at the time. But when I talked to the shaman, kind of piggybacking what Julie was saying, and basically how she said it is exactly right. It's whatever you think. But that thought is such a powerful thing, right? And so when you work with like the Native community and their work with Earth, with the sun, with the moon, with the stars, every delicate little thing is a valuable creature because it's a representation of life. They live at a completely different existence than anybody else I know because of that frequency that they create through their appreciation, because without any of that, they won't exist, right?
Right.
So, but that was learned. Everything that I just said was a process for me that I had to go through and experience, and I had to do stupid things to understand the consequences of those actions as well. So I'm grateful for all the different phases I've been through within that field. But the spiritual journey, the respect for the things, the creation of thought, is the most powerful benefit, not just towards the spiritual stuff, but towards every single decision that we make in our life, every single day, with the people we love, with the friends that we associate with social media. Every single thing is a reflection of what you are and what you become. So, boom. What?
Correct.
What?
Okay.
What?
All right. I got to ask you this. Have you ever had any physical interaction? Has anything ever touched you, poked you, prodded you?
So,
I had my butt grabbed.
I promised you something a few days ago when we talked about coming on the show, and you were very stern with me about proper behavior. All right?
I was not. I just said no rusty instruments. That's all I said.
Wow.
Oh, and you say it. Okay, so I can't say it, but you start bringing up rusty trombones and waffle stomping.
Sorry, Audrey. I tried.
Damn it. All right, so I have been physically and spiritually threatened. Shadow figures facing off with me. But there was a time where Lisa, my wife, was viciously attacked. And I'm going to tell you something before I even say this.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical of anything I see online when it comes to people being spiritually attacked physically, right?
Yeah.
I used to see all the scratching on YouTube videos and TV shows, and it used to kind of anger me because I used to think, again, because that excitement of the visual sells ratings. But when you have people like us that are in a serious journey within this realm. It bothered me because they were misselling the representation of what we're really doing. But I was with Lisa at a regular location, and I was not listening back to the EVPs I was getting throughout this investigation, and I should have been. And we get home, and Lisa came up to me, and she felt like a uncomfortable feeling between her shoulder blades right above her brow line. It was just a little red spot when I first looked at it. And I literally just got done telling the story outside. So I started looking at it, but it when I looked at it the first time, I saw a red spot, but then I went and got a light and I looked at it a second time and it grew in size, right? So I'm like, well, what am I looking at? So I start looking at it with the light and I watch these scratches they manifested right in the center of her back, and then they went all the way down her spine. And I hate to be so TV-ish or whatever the word is, but it was 3, right? And again, whatever you believe 3 represents is up to your interpretation of it. But it was 3 scratches that went down from the back of her neck straight down her spine. And then she had one manifest from her top right shoulder that went all the way down to her bottom left hip, and then one that went straight across her back. Wow. I watched those manifest within 15 minutes, and then I started watching little droplets of blood start coming out of these. Wow. And so now I'm irate, and my cat's jumping up here. My cat's being annoying, and I didn't know it was in the studio. Don't worry about it. So I get the spirit box. This one, as a matter of fact, that I have right here. I got this out, and I started it up, and I asked, and I said some things, and I says, where is your coward, whatever, hiding in my house? You know, you attacked an innocent person that had nothing to do with this. And this lady's voice comes through the spirit box screaming, he's behind you. It freaked me out because it was clear. It went over multiple scans. And so after we did a clearing of our location, I go back and I listen to the audio from the investigation. And I found an EVP that I probably should have caught when I was there. But when I heard it, this is what I heard. Lisa, we want her. It said, Lisa, we want her in this weird voice. You know, it's like, Lisa, we want her.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell, no, you just didn't say that, bro.
No, man. No.
Yeah, so, you know, it's one of those things. Be careful what you wish for, kids, because, you know, we think we're going to be going and talking to grandma and grandpa, and we are literally manifesting and opening doors into realms that we really don't know what the hell we're playing with.
Yep. So true.
Yeah. Can I just ask how you take that as a man? Like, you know, if a guy like, you know, says that in front of you about your wife, like, you're like, come on, we're taking this outside. What do you do on the etheric realm when someone's like, we want your wife, mate? Like,
so, you know, that's a good question, because if somebody in the physical world presented something like that, being a man of peace, you know what I'm saying? I would, you know,
being a man of peace, I would kick his ass.
You know what I'm saying? You just said that. I'm trying to follow Teresa's rules. All right, I'm trying to be super professional.
Relax.
So, Lisa, I got to say this about her. I've been with Lisa for going on 23 years. Lisa has went through some major tragic things before we met. She was kidnapped, and very bad things happened, and it lasted for quite a few days. This was before I knew her. And I used to be a promotional disc jockey at this one place called Champs up in hey, I'm talking. I was one of those guys that said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to be here every Wednesday night for your $9.99 T-bone steaks right here at Champs in Woodbury, Minnesota. I would do that. And this guy came up to me, Steven Seagal looking brother, you know what I'm saying? And he came up to me and says, dude, I got this job for you. He goes, I love your vocals. It's in this, doing what you're doing right now. And it was at a club in St. Paul. And I was just like, yeah, probably not my thing. I never went. 2 days later, my buddy called me, Damien, it was his name. And he says, dude, I got this killer gig. It was huge money. It was great money. It was like really good money. He's like, you got to get down here. And then I'm sitting there thinking, did the guy have Damien call me to come down? It was really weird because I didn't want nothing to do with it at first. But when Damien called me, I was like, I'll go check it out. Well, so I went down there. It all happened. I got the job down there, and that's where I met Lisa. So I believe, honestly, this sounds kind of weird. Not really, but I believe that something was getting me there. Will you get the cat out for me, please? something was getting me there. Something was bringing me there because it was part of the design. It was a necessity. With her stage of life, with what she was going through in her life, and what I was capable of, if you can put that together in your imagination. I was there as her guardian, right? I was there as her protector through her healing, and then she got me through a stage through my healing. I believe that part of the grand design at a spiritual level is that when it comes to things like that, I don't know.
Don't feed them is what I say, Rocky.
Well, I don't feed them, but I don't fear them.
Right. You don't fear them, but don't feed them.
And I'm willing to combat it. I mean, if I'm willing to do the things I did in my physical form on this planet, in my past life, kind of what I like to say, I'm willing to do that in the spiritual world. And I've always had this, and I always thought it was an imagination thing, but I've always had this thing that my spiritual self has this cape, right? Has these swords, has this fearlessness to do things that some people wouldn't. And I kind of do that in life, and I feel like I do that in spirit as well. So, yeah, kind of a long-winded answer to the question, but I believe that our spiritual strength was designed to be together, and with our connection at a soul level,
agreed,
we're untouchable when it comes to those sinister POSs. So,
well, there's a Native American saying that a man's job is to protect his wife as she walks the earth, and a wife's job is to connect her mate to divine. And that's just kind of like, that's what their roles are, and they can be interplayed. Those are interchangeable.
Come on, Julie.
Come on, Julie.
That's my role with my husband. You know, we've been 41 years together.
Congratulations.
And we're not certainly on the same spiritual level, but I think in a way he is a master. He just doesn't have to go through what all of us choose to do. You know, he knows a lot of stuff through being logical and very creative, and he doesn't have to put all of what we do, all this, whatever we do, into it. He just bees who he is, right? So so this is where I've learned a lot by just observing, especially my husband. After this time, I've learned so much from that man in being who he is, and he's comfortable in me being so crazy.
Yeah, it's an equal respect. Yeah, when you respect each other, you allow each other to be who and what you are, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and
that's
neither
awesome.
like all of what we're talking about, that certainly is not in his realm at all.
Yeah,
you know, all of this stuff, all of it. It's a beyond for him to even comprehend. I mean, I know there's a lot that talk about it. But it's not in my reality. In this lifetime now, what I'm doing what I'm here to do. Right?
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with work. Like, of course, I know who I am, and I know how I can achieve, because I've been manifesting, I've been writing for a long time, but there's been no real interaction with evil shit. There's none of that in my world. If you want to call it evil, whatever you want to call it, because you're the one that's created it.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to.
Well, how do you explain mediumship then? When you have someone like Mozzarella or others like her who channel spirits, who can predict, what are they interacting with? Is that their higher self, or is that their thought?
That's what I reckon. It's just your higher self. If you're a clearer channel, you'll get pure divine information, which is all of what I've been writing. Because what it's been doing for 10 or 12 years is stuff that's happening now. So, of course, it's been pre-sent. Look at the word present. It's pre-sent. It's already happened.
I think I have to say I've had experiences that were very, very dark. I was kidnapped and almost sold to a sex ring by the time I was 3 years old. Okay. Wow. And then after that, I was totally sexually and physically and mentally abused until I was about 13 years old. And so I think that sometimes trauma like that, and I was entrenched in darkness.
Yeah.
Any of the darkness you could think of, I've experienced and survived. And I think that kind of just I don't know. It just, I lived in haunted houses where, I've had some pretty interesting experience, but I think that a lot of those traumas have kind of, I feel like there's been times where I would look at a human being and I was not looking at a human being. It was not a human being. When my stepdad would go to beat me for my regular beatings, I would see this thing behind him that was not this guy. It did not feel
when I hear this, and I don't know if anybody else does, but I get this overwhelming rush of when I hear what you've gone through, Crystal, and I could not express how sorry I am.
It's okay,
but I get this overwhelming
top,
rush of this obligation. I get angry. I get really angry when I hear of abuse. I interviewed a girl a couple weeks ago in South Carolina.
I saw that, Rocky.
She don't even know how old she was.
Oh my God.
She was kept in a dog kennel. She was sex traded from the age of 3 years old till the 18 years old. She was brought in from Mexico into the United States illegally. Does no idea of anything where she comes from. And, I hear that. And what angers me is a couple things, that people are that dark and sinister to do that to another human being. And that we as a society know what's happening and we ain't doing a damn thing about it. That really bothers me. And people are going to go through an entire life of these emotional scars, of these horrifying things that they're going through. But also to see this young lady overcome that many years of that type of trauma and turn that dark, sinister, disgusting world into something powerful, and designing communities of people that have gone through the exact same thing. And these communities are full of adults that are trained counselors to work with these children. That's the spiritual part of that, because we don't have to be there if we're designed to be here. And it breaks my heart to say this, but do you believe that some people have to go through things because they need to be the teacher for the students?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Spiritual contract.
I started to realize that by the time I was about 15, I started to realize and be able to foresee that those previous experiences could probably help somebody else in the future, and if I had not gone through those experiences, I wouldn't have been at the capacity of the service that I am to others now.
That's right.
Yeah, so
that's exactly right.
Exactly. We go through some of these things, and it might be predetermination. I'm not sure if I'm really sold on that idea of predestiny, or that I contracted with. I'm trying to wrap my head around that, but I think things just happen, and whether it's contracted or not, it happens, and there's always a universal reason for it. It goes beyond comprehension. And we have to transmute that and grow in this life, in this now, day to day, and then eventually we become the teachers. We become the guides. We offer our shoulders to someone else who's going through the same thing. And I can't think of too many Soul Tribe members that haven't been through something dramatic. We all have our dramas. And maybe that's why we're so spiritually connected. Ever think about that? Because I'm not saying you have to be through, have to have gone through anything. I'm just saying that a lot of us that are very highly spiritually connected and very active in those connections. And it's probably because of what we went through.
It's so good to see.
I'm gonna have to say sexy as hell at that too.
Well, it's just so good to see a human being turn their pain. Okay, Rocky.
Yeah, we're all hot to trot too.
It's so good to see a human being take that darkness and pain and turn it into something beautiful and useful. That's the ultimate transformation.
We all have gifts. We all have these gifts, right, Jules? Go ahead, Jules.
Yeah, and it's the angle you view everything from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, what you went through is horrific. I haven't been through that trauma. Of course, I've had things that I've had to work through to get to what I've got. No.
Oh, sure.
But the thing is, it's the angle you want to view your trauma from. So if you're going to keep saying it's crap, well, that's where you're going to stay all the time. So you've got to lift yourself up so that you can have a better better view. So that's why I always go top of the tree, pick of the orchard, and then you just keep looking at it from a different angle. Every time something comes up, I go, okay, what's another view of that story?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, during these experiences, the paranormal levels were off the chain. I mean, you know, breathing down the neck, saying repeating nightmares that ended up actually being a true murder story, having those dreams and actually realizing that was the truth. That's what happened in this house. And, you know, levitating. I started learning how to leave my body and come back no problem at a very young age. I mean, I'd be sitting in school and be looking at Jupiter and come back and no one would know it. So,
well, the way I feel about it is as above, so below. And just like our world has a hierarchy, and just like our world has multiple rulers, so too does the spirit world, where you have multiple gods and multiple hierarchies of various spirits or gods or whatever you want to call them. And they sometimes play with us. And just like our world interacts with theirs, so does their world interact with ours. Where on some level, you know, these higher entities like gods could be saying, okay, let's see what happens when we say put these two people together, or let's see what happens when we put a wet banana peel in this dark alley. You know, let's see which chain of events that triggers to effect this particular change. You know, so in other words, to a certain degree, we could be playthings of the gods, but we also have to realize that once you realize that they could be playing with us, then you can counteract that.
Well, once you realize that you are the gods,
that too,
and you can change that,
and you have free
then
will.
Nothing's messing with you anymore, is it?
Yeah.
But as long as we have a whole bunch of people in society who believe that those gods are real and truly exist, then they're saying there's an outside reason, an outside influence that's influencing us, and I believe we're stronger than that.
Yeah.
I believe they're full of crap, those outside influences. They're actually coming from us. That's what I think.
Yes. Yeah, but that's just like knowing the truth about anything else. If you know the truth about, say, COVID, you're not going to be afraid of it.
Right.
And it's not. It's
damn, you went there, bro.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all right, Rocky. Weigh in, buddy. Weigh in.
Remember, you're the core owner.
Right.
Yeah. The core
owner.
I like that.
Of your crown. Own it. Don't allow anybody else inside your temple.
I need that in a shirt. See, I own it.
Yeah.
Yep. See, I own your crown.
Yeah.
You have so many good shirts, Jules. You have good shirts.
Rocky
I can see a lot of things
shirts.
you say is good shirts.
Rocky has good shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, Jules again. Sorry. Again.
The man I pull at Ions is the one I wear.
This is going to be the next shirt. I'm telling you right now. This is going to be the next shirt.
That's got to be a shirt.
That's got to be a shirt. Abnormal realities. Yeah.
I would wear that. I'd wear that in all black. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rock that.
Oh yeah.
So when is this show of yours going to start airing?
So it was going to start. So now Ron, he has a trip going to Colorado. So we were actually going to start it. Shoot, I think it was going to be this week or last week, but we didn't want to start the show and then have the gap where Ron was going to be gone for a week.
Right.
And then we figured, you know what the heck? Right after Independence Day, July 5th, we'll just kick it off, and Ron will be back and. Man, we're going to hit everything. We're going to hit every single topic. We're going to talk about curses. We're going to talk kind of what Julie was talking about. It's what you think, the power of the mind, the universal laws. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about abductions. We'll talk about anything that's going to challenge the imagination of your mind. That's kind of the direction that we want to go. And I think it's great because we just don't know, and having conversations. And I don't necessarily believe in everything I talk about. But that doesn't necessarily believe, just because I don't believe in it doesn't mean it's not real, right?
Right.
So let's entertain everything, and let's bring these conversations back.
I just came to a realization.
What's up?
If we're manifesting entities, then what the hell grabbed my butt in that tunnel?
Good question.
Ooh, did you grab your own butt?
I grabbed my own butt telepathically.
I highly doubt that. No.
Oh my God.
Damn, girl.
Wow.
Tell us more.
What else happened?
I blamed Grant. I was blaming Grant Wilson. And what he was on the other side of the cave. He goes, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "You just grabbed my butt." And he goes, "No, I didn't."
Were you
so
mad?
I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Were
No,
you mad
I wasn't
because
mad.
he did or didn't?
I just don't like somebody grabbing my butt. I mean, I have to be really into a person in order to allow them to grab my butt. Okay. And I wasn't into him. And if you grab my butt, I'll grab yours back. That's the kind of person I am, you know?
That's a promise.
But it's like I could have manifested that whole experience of something pulling at me.
Sorry,
that's just really weird.
I just imagine,
know it's gonna be good.
I just imagine Teresa sneaking up to her etherical self and be like, "Gotcha."
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's weird. Oh God.
So you could bring it up here so we could all laugh about
Rocky,
it.
is it every? Are you going to be on every night, Rocky? Or
Yep. It's going to be every night.
Every
it's
night?
going to be Monday through Friday, 7:00 Central Standard Time, 8:00 Eastern. We're going to be doing live call-in shows. We're going to be doing live events. Mineral Wells is going to be one of them. The hotel right here in Texas. We're going to be going to Goatman's Bridge, and we're going to be streaming all of this live. So we're going to bring everybody along for the experience. And
amazing.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
Yeah,
man. Let's
get over there to Reno, Nevada, where Lori lives.
Where I really want to go, I want to go to Goldfield, Nevada. And I know I cannot get into the Goldfield Hotel because they're afraid they won't let anybody in to investigate that, but they have the old middle school, or it's a grade school that I want to try to get in there as well.
Or Virginia City.
Yeah,
Virginia City
absolutely.
is very haunted.
So yeah, all that stuff. And you know what? We're just going to bring this back to the air. It's not going to be a news-driven broadcast. It's going to be let's sit down, let's have a good time for an hour and have these conversations.
So. I like that. I think a lot of people are really looking forward to just, okay, we could just escape the day just for a little bit after a hard day or a long day or whatever kind of day you're having, and just experience a connection with your friends, no matter if it's music or paranormal or crystals or anything. I think that's people at the end of the day, they're just looking for connection and friendship.
That's it.
Right.
Bada boom.
You're right.
Bada boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need as a society to be able to connect to each other and not let what the TV is telling us interfere with that connection. So I've just told is like, hey, I'm just wide open for connections with
Audrey says, "Yay, I can talk now."
TV is a nickname, and nicknames are only for friends, and television is not your friend.
No.
Come in, Audrey. Come in and say hi. Yeah.
I do like watching Naked and Afraid, though.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you like
used to watch that?
Because
I never got that.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because
I want to know why.
The dude catching a peek. That's the only reason I watch it. I'm trying to catch the dude catching a peek. That's the only reason.
What? That's the only reason.
So you want to peek on him peeking on someone else?
Well, I just want to see if I can catch him on camera doing it, right? I could never be on it because I can't walk in my driveway barefooted without it messing up my feet. So.
Could you imagine the mosquitoes biting you in your areas?
Nope.
I can't believe people actually go on TV and do that and experience that. Wow.
Do you think that causes relationship issues? Like when they get home and you have an insecure husband or boyfriend, have questions,
I think it's designed to.
Probably.
Here, honey, wear this loincloth for me, will you?
For that guy on the island, why'd you
go make a fire, will you, babe? Come on, turn me on.
That's so hot.
Oh God.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If I've gone 2 weeks, and no disrespect, ladies, but if you and I have gone 2 weeks on Naked and Afraid, I do not want you bending over and picking up a log right next to me. Okay?
No.
Yeah. Right.
No.
Yeah.
That might not be a good situation.
All right. I apologize. I promised Teresa I wouldn't go down this road. My bad.
Don't go.
But it was so easy for us to go.
Yep. I know. I'm feeling you.
Yep.
So.
We're not that restrained.
No, we're not.
We're not.
No, you obviously haven't heard Joel's. I mean,
I love her. We love you. I love you so much.
Oh boy.
Idea. I have no idea what you were talking about.
Okay.
Guys.
No, not at all.
No, I was like, is this what I don't get because I don't own a TV, or is it an American thing? I'm not sure.
Oh, you don't know about the show, huh?
No, I don't know about the show.
I don't have a TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a show about people, and it's usually a man and a woman.
That's right.
They have maybe a satchel or something, to keep their stuff in, but they're completely naked, and they have to.
They have an app for that over here. It's called Tinder. They have an app for that over here. It's called Tinder.
I think they should just charge, $5-6 an episode and say, hey, catch a peek.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Could you imagine how dirty your butt though would get?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, gross.
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay, let's let that one go.
Let that one go. Let that one go. Don't even go
Never
there.
ever am I going to complain.
You know what?
We only get
He's
5
encouraging
channels in
us,
Australia.
Audrey.
That sounds.
We're not
like
encouraging him. It's the other way around.
Paranormal. that is paranormal. That crap.
Audrey, please don't encourage Rocky.
Sorry, Audrey.
Oh, still do it for Rocky. Audrey, shut up.
We've come a long way since Gilligan's Island.
For sure.
We're not on Gilligan's Island
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
Well, folks, if you don't, for the folks in chat, if those that are listening are regular listeners who don't participate in chat, if you have never tuned in to Rocci Stucci before, I suggest that you get to know Ron and Rocky and check this show out when it comes on. It's going to be called Abnormal Realities. That'll be on YouTube, right? And where else is it going to be broadcast, Rocky?
We're already on a bunch of terrestrials. We're going to be on iHeartRadio. We're going to be on Odyssey Radio, Mojo, Opslands. But we did create a Facebook page called Abnormal Realities. That is going to be the hub, and then as well as my YouTube channel. As long as I don't talk about no pandemic stuff, I'm not going to lose that channel.
Right.
So the main 2 hubs where I'm going to be interacting with the chat is going to be my YouTube channel and then Abnormal Realities Facebook page.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And his link is in the description for everyone.
Because,
so be sure to click on that.
The thing is, folks, you'll get, there's a lot of news channels out there. And Rocky's, when he does news, is the only one I'll listen to. And it's because he doesn't make stuff up, and he doesn't get into all this crazy crap. It's real. And so when he talks about these issues too, he's going to be talking about real problems, real issues, real people, and you're going to get truth. A lot of truth comes out of the Rocky programs. And so that's why I feel at home there. That's why I made it my family in the first place. If it weren't for him, and Scotty too, because they were together a lot, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that's how I got into Brian Barnett and David Null and all that. But it all started with Rocky, and it all started with Scotty. And I found myself there because they allowed that free flow of communication and never judge anybody. They never criticize anybody. They'd never give anybody any schmooze or any lies. They let the truth come out, and it's a great time in the process, as you can see. Because he does it with humor too.
Well, I love you, Teresa, and I promise you that if I was in a cave with you, I would grab your butt.
And I promise you, I would smack you.
Yeah, you would. And I would enjoy it.
I couldn't grab it back because Lisa is always going to get you. Lisa, don't mess with Lisa, okay?
I love Lisa.
He's got the best wife. He's got the best wife.
Incredible. I love her.
Yeah. So,
absolutely incredible.
I'd be honored if you grabbed it, but then again, I'd have to smack you,
I'm okay with
Only
that.
natural. Only natural.
Yeah.
Well, I love you guys, and I'm grateful you guys had me on, and so I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna go do a spirit box with some rookies that I've never done it before.
Right on.
And I think you guys have produced a good, legitimate frequency. I feel really good, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna have some fun. And and I just want to say, you guys got to understand, and anybody who don't do this, the videos or the radio, there's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of devotion, friendship, things that go into doing shows like this. And I say, I've been watching you since the get, and I've seen this amazing, you guys just keep evolving show after show after show after show. And I truly, honestly, no matter how we differ in opinions on certain things in real life or, in this physical reality we live in, I have huge respect for all of you, and I admire each one of your messages and everything that you all do. So I'm grateful to call you friends.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We gotta go because I'm going to start crying.
I love that, Rocky.
Thank you.
Thank you,
right.
Rocky. Really
I love you
appreciate
guys.
that.
All right.
Love you too.
Thank you so much.
Bye, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Oh, he's a treasure having him on. Wasn't that great?
Yes, it's amazing.
I
Amazing
can't
guy.
wait for that show. I cannot wait for that show.
Oh, we're going to be on that one. Stir up our hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jules.
My things are flashing again, so they might be ready to.
Go ahead, Jules.
Okay.
So it's flashing. Each one of you are flashing on my.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Do you want to try to get your poem out that you have for tonight?
Yes, please.
Please.
We'll see if it stays.
It will.
Stays
So I'll put the intention out
It will.
Okay. Sharp and to the point. No beating around the bush. Say what needs to be said and give them an almighty push. These are the words that came to me in a dream. My New Year's quote, foretold but yet unseen.
Yeah.
Is this to be my outcry for 2011? Are these the words sent from heaven? Seeing I'm the messenger, the choice is mine. When I say it, it is surely the right time. The world is confused. They know not what to do. So much hidden stuff, the facts from me to you. Just spread some seeds, let them take root. It's all a game. I'm unveiling the truth. All written in the stars, if we dare look. This gypsy Jules, nature intended, gave her the book. So this was written back on the 1st of the 1st, 2011.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is my journal from 2010.
Wow.
This image here, and then there's another one. They are the image that actually told me back in 2010 that we'll be taking our body with us and we don't have to physically die, guys. When the realm comes down, when the dome comes down, there we are.
Yeah.
So as we lift our frequency, all of those little flickers that we're seeing, it's crumbling, and we will be on the new earth.
Jules, I have just been in this deep gnosis in the past 2 weeks of the very thing that you just said. I've been getting the same message, like really strong every day. Hey, you're going to translate and you're going to bring your matter material with you.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
And
that hit me like a ton of bricks.
Because in 2010, I knew that, but of course, how many people do you go out and say, I don't care.
They think you're that crazy. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's 11 years on from when I was first given that message. My dad had passed.
Huh.
And then I put this in my journal, and I've known that since that time, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing it with everybody.
This has been profound. That was a profound whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are truly sisters.
And I know I've shared it with a couple other people, and then I call the zodiac the zoo dial. And of course, it's there and it's put in place. If you want to look at it, it is actually part of this system. It's been placed over us, okay?
Yeah.
Just like the chakra systems, they've been laid upon us as a control mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you a story, guys, okay? Come along for the ride.
It resonates.
It resonates.
Yeah.
Okay.
It resonates.
So as we lift our frequency, the veil, the dome, which is a frequency, it's whatever it is, it's been put in place to control us. But as we lift it, I got the message, we are now at 53% awake on this planet.
Yay!
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Good.
the more of us that keep doing this and keep lifting it, the quicker it'll fall. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
And we're not going anywhere. This planet is more than what we see.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Just
It is.
what we have been told
many realms, many
planes.
Yep.
So in the zoo doll, when I was gifted my chart because of when I was born and the date and everything, I am a wizard. It is written in black and white.
I believe that.
Yep.
I have not shared that with many people either.
Well, you're safe to share it with us because we
with the whole world.
When you mentioned it earlier, I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't a surprise to me.
No surprise. We already kind of knew that.
Kind of knew it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, it's just now's the time. I'm here doing what I've come to be, right?
Right.
And I've written many things, and they're all unfolding right now.
Yeah.
Because we are truly here doing what we're here to do, and we are capable of many things.
Oh, there she goes.
That's okay. She got it out, didn't she?
Audrey, I'm sorry you're having trouble too, Audrey. We love you. And Audrey's had some trouble hearing. Yeah. We love you, Audrey.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Please do tune in to Rocky's show.
We have an announcement.
What you think. Okay, go for it. Teresa.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I do have an announcement, Crystal.
Yeah, go for it.
You're not on Facebook for a while, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to let you know what was going on. Our friend Annie XD, next Annie XD, who we had on for one of our Egypt talks.
Yes.
He came home from being away for a month doing his tour of North America and doing his America esoteric investigations of America, ancient history. And he came home to a flooded apartment, and it wiped out everything he owns with black mold.
Oh,
and it was horrible. It is so bad that he lost his book collections, all of his research material. It affected all of his hardware and software that he uses to produce his shows. The list just goes on. Collectibles, valuables, and collectibles that they've acquired in different countries. Everything is gone. Everything.
Oh my God.
Do we have like a GoFundMe or something?
Well, Lori's gone ahead and go ahead, Lori. Tell her what you've put in here.
His PayPal link is in the description. So if anybody wants to help out, please do. Just click on that link. NEXT. Next NEXT in the description. I checked it out.
They have to get temporary housing. Yeah.
They need help. And they need it bad.
They need it bad. They have a little girl. She just turned 10.
They're literally just have the clothes on their backs. What's in the car? The vehicle. That's
all they've got left.
Cannot go back into the house.
My goodness.
So he's got to find
This is why I need to be a millionaire, so I can like just that my soul memories. Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad.
Let me tell you how bad this is. He doesn't make a lot of money doing what he does.
Yeah.
But when he does get a good trip going, of course he gets a chunk of that and it helps them. But because of the COVID, there was a lower income.
Yes.
So he went out to do the America thing so that he could broadcast that in lieu of the Egyptian work that he does. That took an investment of money. So what he had, they put into that. So they come back to this and it's like, oh my God. So even $5,
right?
If everybody pitches in $5 or $10, it gets them the room they need. They're working with the lawyers. They're working with the landlord to make good on this because it was a toilet that flowed over. Yeah. I mean, so they're working through it, but in the meantime, they need temporary housing. They need food.
They need
food. They need gas for the car, and they've got a little girl. Their little girl just 9 or 10 years old.
Is that link going to be in the description?
It is
in the description.
And if you go to his channel, you'll see his PayPal link in his videos.
Yeah,
but anything that anybody can do to help Next. Audrey, me, a bunch of us that follow him, we greatly appreciate it. Mandy, a bunch of us follow his work, and it's very good, his work. I'm already a mystery school student of his, but if anybody can donate what little bit you can.
Oh yeah, it's on. I'm definitely. I'm sign me up for that one.
Black mold. That's usually quite toxic. That's usually the cause of sick building syndrome, and that's usually Aspergillus terreus niger.
Right. The apartment complex is not being cooperative, and they're on their own. Yeah, Audrey. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my
For
God.
those of you who are on Facebook, if you go to what is it, Audrey? If you could paste it in there, I don't know if you can, but the link to his Facebook page, because you'll see his videos about this, and he doesn't like to ask for help, but he's got
He needs help.
He's got to have it.
Yeah.
Also, on Robert's show tomorrow night, Al and I are going to jump in for a few minutes to talk about what's going on with the second round of the card deck, because so many people were left out there hanging, waiting to get onto the cards. And so we've started that again to get them back, get their cards produced. So I gave Al the information to bring him up to speed. And since then, we've had some new tribe members who want to be part of the tribe, and they want to be on a card. And so we're just going to talk about that, the process, tomorrow night on Roberts for a little while. Okay?
Okay.
So, and he has a great show with Trina planned and everything. So
wonderful.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So keep ordering for those of you. And if you want to be on the cards, we'll talk a little bit about how to do that tomorrow night, and we'll make room for you. Audrey and Doug Stack are joining the second deck.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
So Audrey on there and Doug Stack, and a friend of Brian Lunsford's just asked to be on there.
Oh,
so
great.
you don't have to have known Brian Barnett, because you're part of the tribe.
Right.
Yeah.
It honors Brian Barnett, but it's all his legacy anyway.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
You can play. You'd be playing cards with your family, and there's your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Think of it that way. Don't think of it as I can't get on the deck because I didn't know Brian Barnett. That's not what this is about.
No.
We're paying tribute to Brian Barnett. It's his spirit that's behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're part of the legacy family that he has helped build out with Slightly Slanted Sleuths, Paula Kemp. All of us have a channel, Pure Love. There's all these different channels, but we're all part of one family. So if you want to be on a card, please, you're part of the family. Why not?
So is it an anniversary because it's his anniversary coming up?
He ascended on the 3rd, right? 3rd of July.
Yes, July 3rd. Yes.
So tomorrow night is just the regular program that we're going to be talking to, and then they're going to have a special show on the 3rd with Brenda and folks in the call-in and all that. I'll let Robert tell you all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! That'll be exciting.
That'll be an exciting show. Yeah, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday, right? We'll see you guys on Wednesday. So stay tuned, and thanks you everybody in chat. And Crystal, you want to end it?
All right, you guys. We love you so much. Thank you so much. Just continuing loving each other and giving to each other, and just keep diving down into yourself, and just know that everything you've gone through, you can achieve anything. You can move mountains. You can do anything you believe that you can. And you've got a group of friends like us behind you, beside you, in front of you, going, yeah, you got this.
You got
We love
this.
you guys so much. We love you guys so much. Have a great night.
Thanks for sharing your story, Crystal.
Yes, thank you.
Good night, everyone. Peace.
Good night.